Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Sleeth. I'm the coordinator of upper school mathematics at JCG, and since it's options week I just wanted to talk to you about what we offer in GCSE mathematics and the opportunities that are available for students. I wanted to start with the mathematics awards. These are available for students in year 9 to 11, and we've got four awards that match our values at JCG. So the Aspire Award for students that make the greatest progress in a term, the Inquire Award for those that want to go a little bit further and that stretch themselves outside of the classroom and take part in extracurricular activities or problem solving, the Excel Award for students in each year group with the highest overall performance in mathematics. So that one is annually, one for each year group. The other three are termly. And then the Belong Award is for the student that exemplifies what we consider a really good student in mathematics. So always involved, lots of contribution, and in particular is supportive to those around them. In order to support students, obviously they can always call upon their class teacher, and they will always be willing to find time to support their students. But we also have timetabled sessions at lunchtime. So we've got 20-minute sessions Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday at the start of lunch for students that just want to pop in and get a little bit of help with their homework. So they might be there for 2 minutes, they might be there for the whole 20. It's up to them how much time they want to spend discussing any challenges they're having. And then Mondays, the whole lunch session is reserved for year 11 to do past paper practice and seek support with that. When students are in year 10, they get 4 lessons a week and 3 in year 11. Alongside what they're doing in the class, they've also got online courses so that they can seek out any extra support through videos and also try lots of questions and get instant feedback. And they can also look back at previous year's work to kind of consolidate that at the same time. Homework wise, they get 45 minutes a week. So the online platform that we use is Dr. Frost Maths, and parents can get their own login to this to see what's going on and see what their daughters are working on as well. So as I said, packed full of videos, lots of tasks on there that students can decide which ones they want to do under their own steam, but also teachers will set specific ones. And one of the great benefits about this is that students get feedback in real time, which they've reported that they really benefit from and enjoy. Exam style questions will be given in a low stakes situation. So 2 to 3 times a term, students will be given either questions on paper or on their device to have a go at. And the main reason that we do this is to make sure that they can translate their experience from previous years learning to the problem-solving style questions that come up in exams. And by the time they reach year 11, that will hopefully have reduced the barrier that sometimes comes up when students are trying to unpick what a question is asking them to do. We give revision sheets to help review what's being learnt in class at a particular time, and also that helps students prepare for termly assessments. And then those assessments happen once a whole unit of content has been covered, so number, algebra, geometry and data. A whole section will be assessed at once, and then that's what we use to make sure that students are making progress and support them if they need any help. All lessons and lots of other resources get stored in the notebook, which students can always access from their devices. And also in year 11, there's there's a specific notebook which is for GCSE revision, which contains lots of past papers and lots of good learning and revision resources. How is it assessed? Well, 100% by final examination at the end of year 11. There are 3 papers. The first is non-calculator and the other 2 are calculator allowed. Each one's an hour and a half, so overall 4.5 hours of assessment for that. Those students that are entered for higher tier sit the EdXL papers, and those entered for foundation tier sit the AQA papers. So no coursework, no controlled assessment, 100% final examination for GCSE mathematics. Those students that are in the top 2 sets, by the time they're at the end of year 10, they'll have covered 90–95% of the content required to sit their examinations. And so they have the opportunity to study for the AQA Level 2 certificate in further mathematics, which goes deeper in lots of topics and also adds a couple of extra topics which really help with the bridge to A-level. It's not necessary if you want to study A-level, but it definitely helps. So just to talk a little bit more about that then, so top set students study that. They start that in the summer of year 10, and then they study it also in the autumn and spring of year 11. Those students that aren't in those sets also have the opportunity to study this, and so lunchtime sessions are made available if they are interested. Like I said, it gives a deeper understanding of lots of the GCSE maths concepts, and also helps as a bridge for entry into A-level. But again, I will say it isn't necessary to do A-level, but it definitely helps our students with the start of A-level. As with the GCSE, 100% exam assessment. It's 2 papers, 1 calculator, 1 non-calculator. So just to cast some light on what AQA Level 2 Certificate in Further Maths is about, there's a couple of questions here so that we can make a bit of a comparison. So on the left is the sort of question you might get on the higher tier GCSE mathematics. So at the top here, we've got some fractional and negative indices work to do. And on the right, to compare, in the further mathematics, you might expect that to get a little bit more algebraic. So it is a natural transition, but certainly requires more depth of understanding in order to engage with that examination. Simultaneous equations on the higher GCSE are on the left in the middle, and then on the right, you might be expected to solve 3 simultaneous equations at once in the further mathematics. On the bottom right is an example of rearranging a formula to make x the subject, and on the right we can see it's made slightly more complicated by having some indices involved here as well. So there's lots of read across between the 2, as we can also see on this next slide. So here's an example of using advanced trigonometry on the higher GCSE, and when we look on the right, it becomes a lot more algebraic. So their understanding becomes more general, as opposed to using the specific values which are in the question on the left. On the left at the bottom here, students are expected to have an understanding of exponential graphs, and on the right, again, working with values to actually end up deriving an equation for a graph or some of the constants that might be involved. Further Maths also introduces some new topics which help bridge to A-level. So there's matrices on the top left, binomial expansion on the bottom left, so really developing algebraic manipulation and understanding, and then an introduction to calculation, so working with rates of change, being able to differentiate expressions and work with graphs as well to understand the shape of graphs and the rate of change involved in those. And trigonometric equations are also introduced as well, which we can see on the bottom right. Useful resources that our students have kind of reflected back to us have been GCSE revision cards, which you can get at the link there. There's maths revision bundles for higher and foundation, so you get a revision guide and you can also get lots of exam style questions with those. And then with the AQA certificate in further maths, we used to require that students buy that textbook, but now an online version is available free of charge. For the things at the top here with the links, you can order those through JCG at reduced cost as opposed to going through and buying those yourselves at home. I've just provided a few useful links if ever you want to quickly have a look at what's going on in mathematics. So a couple of links to specification, one for the foundation, one for the higher, and also the specification for the certificate in further mathematics. A read through that might cast some light for students that feel they don't really have an understanding of what that might be about, and also for those students that might want to study that at lunchtime if it's not happening in their classroom sessions. Obviously, students can always ask their teachers and they'll be willing to talk about that. There's a link there to Dr. Frost Maths, and I recommend that you do sign up and have a look and see what your daughter's working on for their homework and what is available to them online. Corbett Maths is great for revision. There's loads of questions on that and answers written worked answers that will benefit students, and that's the same for Maths Genie. So yeah, that is GCSE Maths in a nutshell. The main opportunity there for lots of students will be the Level 2 certificate in further maths specification. I just want to reiterate that support's always available. We've got timetabled sessions, but also if students want to talk to their teachers, they'll always be willing to make time, either to discuss what the next stage of mathematics look like, or what the examinations look like, or perhaps about further mathematics. Teachers will always be willing to talk about that. I hope that's a helpful insight, but if you do want to get in touch, please do, and I'll answer any of the questions that you have.